Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. Going to give you the latest news about Bissaka, also going to give you the latest news about Bruno Fernandes, and also give you the latest news about Jadon Sancho. So there is lots to negotiate on this video today, and the first topic of the development that I'm going to talk to you about is Jadon Sancho. Now big news has come out about him. This is actually coming from the Mirror. It's also coming from the Metro, saying now we could reignite our interest in Jadon Sancho on one condition, and that is if Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United this summer, which is expected anywhere, because obviously Paul Pogba confirmed that he wants to seek a new challenge and all that. So basically the club are orchestrating on generating the funds from Paul Pogba's departure, and obviously putting them funds on Jadon Sancho. But we do know Jadon Sancho was the club's number one priority target for quite some time, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did like the prospect of linking Jadon Sancho up the likes of Martial and Marcus Rashford and all that. But basically I think we did come to accept the fact that we was set to miss out on him this summer. The main factor reason why this is because obviously we haven't qualified for the Champions League for next season. So it did basically say our hopes had ended been in Jadon Sancho in this summer. But I think Borussia Dortmund have confirmed that Jadon Sancho is still in their plans. Obviously Jadon Sancho is rated at around £100 million, and obviously we have got the financial power to meet that valuation and all that. And it did even say before that we was willing to meet his £100 million valuation. But I think if Jadon Sancho was to make a return back to England, I think it would help him with his developing process. I think it would create a better platform for him and all that. And of course he is only 19 years of age. Obviously he's English. Obviously there's quite a lot of British players on our agenda this summer, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. But like I said, he's only 19 years of age. Looking at it, he's the obvious candidate for the right win, because obviously we do need to recommend a winner to come in. But Jadon Sancho has been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years, like I said, and he's done really well for them. I think he's under contract with them until 2022. Obviously he's had experience of playing in Manchester. Obviously he did serve a couple of years with Manchester City in their youth system and all that. Never got into Manchester City's first team, but obviously he was never guaranteed to play regularly for Manchester City and all that. And this is the main factor reason why he left City, and of course went to Borussia Dortmund. I think he initially began his career with Watford, when he was younger, Jadon Sancho. But I probably do believe, Jadon Sancho will continue playing his trade in Germany, next season with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, he probably won't intend on spending, the rest of his, playing career, Borussia Dortmund. At some point, he's going to want to rejuvenate his career, take his footballing career to the next level and all that. But yeah, it does say we could reignite our interest, as long as, we can basically, sell Paul Pogba and all that. But I don't see, Jadon Sancho, coming in, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, even though he was the club's number one priority target, for a very long time. But he'll obviously fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to develop a squad with young, hungry, homegrown talents and all that, and players that have got a lot of years ahead of him. And I do believe Jadon Sancho, would be the right solution. He can score goals, he can provide, he has got immense talent and all that. But I don't see, Jadon Sancho coming in this summer, to be quite honest, because I do believe a player of his calibre, wants to be in Champions League football. Give you the latest news about Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Now it's looking very imminent. Like I said, he's going to be our second signing this summer, and obviously when we do get the deal finalised for Bissaka, obviously it's going to take our net spend probably to around 70 odd million pounds on two players, because obviously we've already got Daniel James on the board for the 18 million pounds. Obviously I think Bissaka, according to recent reports, is set to have it undergo his Manchester United medical sometime this week after a breakthrough in negotiations and all that. I think we are set to pay an initial fee of around 42.5 million, and obviously there's going to be series of add-ons including the deal, which could potentially rise it to around 55 million pounds, or maybe even 60 million pounds, because obviously Crystal Palace value him at around 60 million pounds and all that. But yeah, reports broke out about this last week. This was actually stemming from Duncan Castles, who's a journalist, and he basically said that Manchester United had agreed world record fee with Crystal Palace around 55 million pounds and all that. Obviously this would make him the most expensive fullback in Premier League history, also making the most expensive British defender of all time and all that. But I think we are set to get him in total for around 55 million pounds. Obviously Bissaka I think has already agreed personal terms on a contract worth around 80,000 pounds a week. Obviously it's an increase from his current salary he's on at the moment, because I think he's on about 25,000 pounds a week with Crystal Palace. But obviously Bissaka had informed Crystal Palace Palace, that he does want to join Manchester United this summer. Initially, we wanted his transfer fully completed, by the end of the weekend and all that. But I think it should be fully completed sometime this week, because like I said, he's set to undergo his medical. Obviously, we previously had two bids, turned down for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, the last bid we had turned down was 50 million. It wasn't a 50 million pound. Well, we didn't offer 50 million up front. It was 35 million up front, with 15 million in add-ons and all that. But obviously, Crystal Palace didn't like the structure of the offer, so they had currently turned this down. And obviously, the first bid we'd put in was around 40 million pounds. But Crystal Palace did say they probably want around 40 or 50 million pounds up front and all that. But it's looking very imminent anyway. He's going to be coming in. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka is predominantly a right back. Like I said, we do need to get a right back, to come in. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously, so far, has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. I think he's been a Crystal Palace player, and Wan-Bissaka, since the age of 11, and obviously graduated from their youth system. Initially, was an out-and-out winner, when he was younger. But obviously, as he was developing, he got reverted as a fullback, the down Wan-Bissaka, reflecting on his tenacity and all that. I think his defensive capabilities are also, very, very good. Obviously, he only made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, and obviously last season established himself as a first team regular, and I think he's gone on to make like 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace, and I think all in all, and I think he's got about 3 years left on his contract. I think also Tottenham had inquired about Wan-Bissaka's services and all that, but I think he does want to make the move to Manchester United. But like I said, I think Wan-Bissaka will be a great replacement for Antonio Valencia. I think he'll be a perfect successor to Antonio Valencia. We know Valencia is leaving the club after he served a decade with Manchester United. I think he'll be a fantastic upgrade to Ashley Young, because like I said, with Young, he's been another long-serving player with the club. But like I said, I know he was our first choice right back last season, but he's no longer got the ability to fulfill that right back position. Obviously, he's past his sell-by date. He's 33. He is nearly 34 years of age and all that. And obviously, he's going to be a good cover-up for Diego Dalot, because obviously Diego Dalot is too inexperienced at the moment. And obviously, Diego Dalot, is the upcoming future. So I do believe anyway, the next two signings are going to be Wan-Bissaka from Palace and Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. But there has been quite a few right backs on our agenda. Obviously, there was a lot of talks about Meunier going on a couple of weeks ago, but obviously now I don't think Meunier is obviously going to be coming in, because obviously Wan-Bissaka is the top priority. I thought it had been initially completed by the end of the weekend and all that, because we said we wanted it completed within the next 48 hours, but I think it's set to be completed sometime this week. He's reportedly set to undergo his medical with Manchester United. So that's very, very good news. But like I said about Meunier, I said Meunier, obviously, would be a cheaper solution than Wan-Bissaka, because obviously I did say he's going to substantially cost us less, because PSG did say they wanted around £25 million for Thomas Meunier. But basically, I think we were seeing Thomas Meunier as a natural alternative, to Wan-Bissaka. So if we didn't get a deal over line for Bissaka, we was looking at the possibility of recommending Meunier in. It did say Manchester United and Arsenal had inquired about his services, but it did say from his own preference he's keen on the move to Manchester United, because reportedly he's been a Manchester United fan, since he was a child. Meunier is 27 years of age. He is predominantly a right back. He can play in other positions, so he's very versatile and all that. He's only got a year left on his deal with PSG. He has been there about 3 years as Meunier, but obviously Meunier, of course, is now not going to be coming in. There was talks about Max Aarons from Norwich. Obviously, we've seen him as an alternative, to Wan-Bissaka. Again, I said Max Aarons would be a cheaper solution than Wan-Bissaka, but obviously, Norwich are reluctant, to offload Max Aarons. He's British, he's Max Aarons. He's only 19 years of age. I think last season was his first season in the senior squad, with Norwich and all that. I think he joined their youth academy in 2016. I think he initially, began his career with Luton, did Max Aarons and all that. I think he signed a new long-term contract with Norwich in October of last year, so I think he's under contract with them until 2023. Primarily a right back, but can also, be deployed as a left back, can Max Aarons. So yeah, there has been quite a few right backs on our agenda, but it's looking likely, Wan-Bissaka is going to be the one that's going to be, coming in. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway, wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer, because obviously, he wants to fulfill the deficiencies in the squad. Obviously, a lot of reports were reflecting out last week, saying that allegedly we've only been given £100 million to spend this summer, and like I said, £100 million is not enough, for us to address the deficiencies in the squad. Because like I said, if it's true what he's saying, and we've only been given £100 million, when we do get the deal finalised for Wan-Bissaka, it's going to take our net spend to £70 odd million, and then obviously we're only going to have £20 odd million left to spend, on central defender, a couple of new additions in midfield, a winger, a striker, and obviously we're not going to be able to do that with £27 million. So I don't really believe this. I think we've been given a £200 million spending spree, so I don't, really believe that. So if it was true that, I think when we do get the deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka, then we'd probably have to consider selling before, we can buy again. Anyway, but I probably think 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer, maybe 5 at the tops, like I said. But, it's very essential that we do get the right recruitment this summer. Because analysing our recruitment policy, it's not really good, to be quite honest with you. A lot of people have, suggested out saying that, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But it's going to be difficult for us, to attract players to the highest level, because obviously we're not in Champions League football. And like I said, Champions League football is always very pivotal, when you do want to get your number 1 targets. But Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in Champions League football. But like I said, we need to get the right players in that are going to elevate Manchester United forward, and I do believe, Wan-Bissaka, can do this. And obviously, we need to see vast improvements going on into this season, because obviously, last season was very disappointing. We finished 6th, we missed out on Champions League, and we didn't win many silverware, and we haven't won any silverware in the past couple of seasons and all that. Last season we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League in 38 Premier League games. That's the highest total in 40 years. So that just proves, the issues we've got defensively. So yeah, we need to definitely, see vast improvements going on into this season. I think in the next couple of seasons anyway, our aspirations, will be that top 4. I can't see us, mounting a title challenge up next season and all that. And I think our expectations going on into this season, won't be to win the league or challenge for the league. I think our expectations probably, will be to finish in the top 4. Maybe win the Europa League, or maybe win the Carabao Cup or something like that. Because like I said, we have been a toxic club, for the last 5 or 6 years and all that. Since Alex Ferguson retired, we have been a toxic club and all that. We have been playing catch up. We've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money has been, invested into the club since Ferguson retired. Players have come in, and of course players have gone and all that. So obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, and I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't get me wrong, I hope he's got the stature to command us in that position where we want to be. Obviously we want to be back, being a competitive elite level football club. We know no one's ever going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. Regardless of who our manager is. No, we're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson. For 20 odd years success, that we did currently have. But our objective is basically, just to get us back, being a competitive elite level football club. Obviously at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Liverpool strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But like I said, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England, historically. But we are a toxic club at the moment. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad. But yeah, like I said, I hope it works out on the Solskjaer, because I don't want us to sack him, because we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers, because obviously we've already sacked 3 managers since Alex Ferguson retired. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that's something that does concern me. But I love him a lot, because he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. But yeah, I'm really, really happy that Wan-Bissaka, is currently going to be coming in. With latest news about Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Now, reportedly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has demanded Bruno Fernandes' arrival by July the 1st. So he wants us to get a deal fully finalised for Bruno Fernandes by the beginning of next month. It's very imperative that we do get a deal over the line for him, because obviously we do know Bruno Fernandes as being one of our main priority targets. I was reading up yesterday, it said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had told Ed Woodward, to speed up, to sign Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we're willing to pay what, Sporting Lisbon are demanding, because I think they're demanding the want around £62 million. It did say last week that we'd met up, with Bruno Fernandes' agent, obviously, discussing Bruno Fernandes' potential switch to Old Trafford this summer. And now it did initially say, we are preparing to put our first offer in for Bruno Fernandes, and it say we was willing to offer around £49 million for him and all that. Basically, Bruno Fernandes did say he's attracted to the history and the mystique of Manchester United and all that. I think, we are considered as the favourites, to get a deal over the line for him. Like I said, I think he'd be a good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Like I said, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. He's only had 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him, like I said. But yeah, I think we are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him, even though a lot of reports came out last week, as I think it was on Wednesday of last week, basically, it said Tottenham basically had held negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent, because obviously Bruno Fernandes' agent was in London having negotiations with Tottenham, because Tottenham have been there for him, because obviously, Tottenham looking for the replacement for Christian Eriksen, of course, if he does leave Tottenham this summer. I think Christian Eriksen has actually been linked to move to Real Madrid. I haven't really read much up about Christian Eriksen of lately and all that, but obviously, Tottenham are going to want to replace him. But obviously, Tottenham they're going to want to do transfer activity anywhere this summer, because obviously they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura back in January 2018, and obviously, their record signing is Davinson Sanchez, who they paid £42 million for from Ajax, back in 2017. So obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is going to want back in this summer. But there's been quite a few midfielders on Tottenham's agenda. Obviously, they're in for Tanguy Ndombele. I think that's one of their main priority targets. They're also in for Giovanni Lo Celso, so that's been one of Tottenham's priority targets. But I still believe, they are in there for Bruno Fernandes. Reports were coming out earlier on last week saying that Liverpool are obviously in for him. They'd reportedly put a bid in for him of around €45 million. Obviously, that equates to around 40 million in pounds sterling. But I do believe, we can get a deal over the line for him. But like I said, we need someone who can score goals in that midfield. We need depth in that midfield, and I do believe Bruno Fernandes would be the right solution, to rejuvenate the team, get us them goals that we do need in that midfield. But he has been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. He's exceeded expectation levels. He's done really, really well. I think he scored 31 goals there last season. But let's be honest, Bruno Fernandes has not yet, really played to the highest level. He is still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. I think his initial release clause is around £86 million. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes did spend the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, with the likes of Sampdoria and Londonese. But it has been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. At one point, it were looking like Manchester City were going to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. City were only willing to pay up to £47 million for his services. But he did say at one point City were willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal and all that. But initially confirmed City have withdrawn their interest, and they are no longer in for Bruno Fernandes. And as soon as City pulled out, that's when Tottenham and Liverpool, entered the race for Bruno Fernandes. So looking likely, we should get him a deal over the line for him. But initially said we're focusing on getting the deal fully finalised for Bissaka before we do step up our interest in Bruno Fernandes and all that. But like I said, be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba. Basically, I want to give you the latest news about Mario Icardi from Inter Milan. Now, I've been reading reports about him today, I think yesterday as well, and basically, we are now considering signing Mario Icardi as part of a deal which would see Lukaku, go to Inter Milan, because reportedly, Inter Milan basically can't afford Romelu Lukaku outright, because reportedly Inter Milan, can't generate enough funds, to meet our £75 million valuation, because that's what we are demanding for Romelu Lukaku. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him a couple of years ago from Everton, because we got him for £75 million. Obviously, there were add-ons including the deal of around £15 million, which had initially risen it to around £90 million. Obviously, Lukaku's still got 3 years left on his contract. But I would like to see, Mario Icardi as part of the deal, for Romelu Lukaku. To be quite honest, I think Mario Icardi's his scoring pedigree, is very, very good. And I think, that would be good enough, for Manchester United. Mario Icardi, I think, is around the same age as Lukaku. I think he is 26 years of age. Obviously, Mario Icardi has been at Inter Milan, 6 years. I think he scored about 111 goals in 188 games for Inter Milan. So that's very, very impressive. I think he's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time, is Mario Icardi. So basically, Inter Milan have offered Mario Icardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku, and Manchester United, may consider, accepting this. Obviously, Inter Milan, I think, want to get rid of Icardi. Obviously, Icardi has, lost the captaincy, was it back in February, and I think Inter Milan, have increasingly, become frustrated with Mario Icardi. But yeah, I do really, really like him. He's don't get me wrong, I've got some reservations about Mario Icardi. Some of his touches concern me and all that, but he's got that endless potential. He can score goals and all that, as he has proven in his 6-year spell with Inter Milan and all that. But yeah, I would like to see, Mario Icardi, come to Manchester United. I think he'd lead the lines very, very well. He'd bring us them goals that we do need, because that was a problem last season. We wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't ruthless enough, of course, in front of a goal and all that. But reportedly now, Manchester United may consider accepting this. So basically, Inter Milan cannot get Romelu Lukaku outright. Like I said, they can't generate enough funds. From Inter Milan's perspective, I think they initially rate Lukaku at around £50 million and all that. This is what, they're basically, rate him at. Obviously, obviously Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target, and obviously Lukaku is eager to play under Antonio Conte's guidance, because probably Lukaku believes he will flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance and all that. But I think initially he did say everything else has been agreed except the fee. Obviously the fee is proven to be problematic for Inter Milan and all that, so probably they're going to have to offload one of their players as part of the deal to fund the move for Lukaku. But basically, reflecting back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku. This is when he was Chelsea manager and all that. Obviously, he won the Premier League in his first season with Chelsea, and reportedly he wanted him then. But obviously, he ended up, coming to Manchester United. But reports were coming out from the Daily Mail the other day. I was reading up saying that Lukaku has agreed a deal with Inter Milan with around 180 grand a week. I think the personal terms that have been agreed. I think it allegedly said he's agreed a 5-year deal with Inter Milan, so he will be under contract then until 2024. But obviously they have not yet, come to an agreement on a fee. But I think we need to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. I said us selling Pogba and Lukaku, we will probably, generate around £200 million over their departures. Maybe even more. Or maybe just under, £200 million. But Lukaku is one of the problematic players at the club. His Service 2 requirements at Manchester United, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confirmed. We told Lukaku about 2 or 3 weeks ago, that he can leave the club and all that. But he's been at Manchester United, 2 years. He scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club. And he did really, really well in his first season. He was exceptional in his first season, but, didn't really, replicate this form, in his second season. Because obviously, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice, preference has been Marcus Rashford, so he's preferred Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and obviously Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. So basically, I think we definitely need to get rid of Lukaku. I think from Lukaku's perspective, he's keen on making the move to Inter Milan. Obviously, Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back, about his, that his future and that is up in the air. But I think we need to get rid of him, and we do need to bring an adequate replacement in for him. And I think Icardi, would be, very, very good. I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda. I know he's never played in the Premier League, Mario Icardi and all that. Obviously, before he was at Inter Milan, I think he was also with Sampdoria. That's where he began his professional career, did Icardi. So he has spent the majority of his career in Italy. Obviously, actually, as a youngster, I think he graduated from Barcelona's youth system. But yeah, very, very good player is Mario Icardi, and I probably, would go along with this. Obviously, Inter Milan, it came out the other week saying that they'd offered us Ivan Perisic plus cash for Romelu Lukaku. But obviously, Manchester United turned this down because obviously, Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. Obviously, he was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. Is Ivan Perisic and all that. But yeah, I hope, we can get rid of Romelu Lukaku. But like I said, who could replace Paul Pogba? So I think Bruno Fernandes definitely, would be the good adequate replacement for him. Obviously, there's been other midfielders, spoken about, who could replace him. Obviously, there was talks about a lot of talks going on about Youri Tielemans the other week, saying that, we'd revived our interest in him, and it did basically say, we'd been in negotiations with his agent over the possible deal and all that. Youri Tielemans has been subjected to quite a bit of transfer speculation. Quite a few teams have been in there for him. Obviously, Tottenham have been in for him. Obviously, Manchester City. I've obviously been in for him, but I think Leicester are actually keen on getting Youri Tielemans on a permanent deal, because obviously Youri Tielemans has had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and obviously Youri Tielemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers, and I think it's initially in Leicester's plans to put Youri Tielemans alongside James Maddison in their midfield, because obviously Leicester probably do believe they would complement each other, that blend with each other really, really well and all that. So Leicester have been in talks with Monaco over getting him on a permanent deal. He's available for around £40 million, is Youri Tielemans. This is what Monaco rate him at. Obviously his loan spell has come to an end now with Leicester. He has returned to Monaco, but I think it's confirmed he will not be at Monaco next season and all that. Obviously we do know, like I said, we've been in for him, Tottenham have been in for him, Manchester City have been in for him. But yeah, he's only 22 years of age. I think he's actually, a box-to-box midfielder. Also, I think he's primarily a box-to-box midfielder. Can also, play as an attacking midfielder. Can Youri Tielemans and all that. I think he's under contract with Monaco till 2022. So I think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. James Maddison from Leicester. There's been a lot of talks about him going on. Obviously, he came out from the Sports and all the other day, and they reported and they basically said, that James Maddison has allegedly asked to to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's allegedly interested in a move to Manchester United this summer. A lot of reports came out about this 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that Man United were in for him. We emerged him as a priority target. He didn't actually say we'd have made initial contact and all that, and he did basically so, we're demanding, it said Leicester, we're demanding around £60 million. If James Maddison is sold this summer. He's British. He's only 22 years of age. He's primarily an attacking midfielder and all that. Obviously, James Maddison has had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, last season was his debut season in the Premier League with Leicester. Obviously, was involved in 14 goals, created more chances than any other player in the Premier League and all that. And I think he's got 4 years left on his contract with Leicester. Leicester got him last summer from Norwich for around £20 million. I think quite a few teams have been, tracking him since he was a teenager at Coventry and all that, because that's obviously, where he began his career. Obviously, I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. Also had a loan spell, with Coventry and all that. But yeah, I do really, really like, James Maddison and what I've seen. Can create chances, can score goals, can also, provide and all that. Probably would cost you around probably 60 or 70 million pounds, because Leicester said they wanted at least around 68 million pounds. And at the time, I think he did say, we was happy, to pay 60 million pounds for James Maddison. But yeah, like I said, I think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Like I said about Giovanni Lo Celso, from Real Betis, it also said, we've been in for Giovanni Lo Celso, even though he has been one of Tottenham's main targets. Obviously, it got reported out last month, saying that Tottenham had a bid of around £53 million turned down for him by Real Betis. I think if Real Betis are willing to offload him, I think they're looking somewhere in the region of around 70 or 80 million pounds. He's 23 years of age, Giovanni Lo Celso. Obviously, last season was his first season with Real Betis. He spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis got him last summer from PSG, and then obviously, Real Betis, got him permanently, back in April, and I think Real Betis, paid him around £20 million for this to get him permanently. And I think he scored about 16 goals in all competitions last season for Real Betis, so I was actually, quite impressive and all that. But I think, if Real Betis do sell him anywhere, PSG, do benefit from it because they get a percentage of any current sale and all that. And I think his initial release clause is around £88 million, is Giovanni Lo Celso's. But Tottenham had been in talks, with Real Betis over getting a deal concluded and all that. But it also says Manchester United have been in there for the Argentinian international, of course. Like I said, only 23 years of age. So do you think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba? We also would going to need a replacement for Ander Herrera. That's also, very, very essential indeed. But like I said, players I do expect to leave the club is probably, Darmian. I think he's going to leave the club. I also think, Rojo is going to leave the club. And I think we can raise around £25-30 million, for their departures. We know Valencia is going to be leaving the club. Small and Jones, they're probably going to be here next season. Like I said, they're too inconsistent now. Small and Jones have been, too long-serving players. The club Small's been here 9 years. Jones has been here 8 years, like I said. But yeah, they've been 2 long-term players at the club, and they're too inconsistent now. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. So they are, problematic players at Manchester United. With Sanchez, he could still be playing his trade there with Manchester United next season. Even though I do want us to offload him, obviously it's going to be hard for us, to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. But yeah, I hope, Sanchez, can come go. Obviously, you've heard the news that, it's looking like De Gea is going to be, staying at the football club, which is also, very, very good news. Obviously, now it did say, we're back in talks with De Gea over £350,000 a week deal. At one point, it was looking very likely that De Gea was going to be departing the club because it was looking like, we wasn't going to get anywhere in contract negotiations of convincing to sign him a new contract. But I think we've now come to the decision of, we are now basically, willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demand, to get him a new contract. Allegedly, we've had £300,000 on the table for him since the turn of the year. But obviously, this is £50,000 less than what he's currently demanding and all that. But we have been in negotiations for a while of trying to get David De Gea a new contract, at least for the last 18 or 19 months. Obviously, David De Gea has been heavily linked with a £60 million move to PSG, and it was looking very imminent. He was going to be going to PSG. Obviously, it did say PSG have basically opted out of the race because PSG have turned their attentions more on Donnarumma from AC Milan. Obviously, he's left. Obviously, he has now left as Buffon. So obviously, PSG are going to want a current replacement for him and all that. But yeah, I think they've now opted out of the race. Obviously, we do know Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea. Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him back in 2015, but due to the fax machine, of course, the deal never materialised. But David De Gea has been a great servant at the club. He has been here 8 years. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He has won everything here domestically. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson and Moreira and all that. And he hasn't really done much on in his 8-year period. I know he may cost some mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly, to do with the contractual situation and all that. De Gea, I said, if we want full value for the goalkeeper, definitely David De Gea is worth £100 million because he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. But like I said, we wouldn't get £100 million anywhere because he's in the final year of his deal. So I think he's set to sign a new long-term contract. We're willing to meet his wage demands. We're willing to offer him a 4-year contract with an option, to extend it by a further year. So this is very, very good news, like I said. So looking like now, De Gea is going to be staying at Manchester United. He's still got a lot of development in him. He's 28 years of age, like I said. But yeah, good news about De Gea. Also, we got Juan Mata a new contract, as I updated you about. Obviously, we've got to give him a new 2-year deal with an option, to extend it by a further year. And it was looking very even that Juan Mata, was going to be leaving the club at one point. Obviously, Newcastle were in for him. Obviously, Barcelona were in talks about getting him on a free transfer and all that. Obviously, I think Juan Mata's current deal does expire on the 30th of June. His current deal currently expires, but obviously, he's now going to be remaining at Manchester United. And obviously, the new contract we've given him, this will obviously take him to the age of 34. Well, it's a 2-year deal, like I said, with an option of a further year. But I'm actually quite happy about this because I like Juan Mata a lot. I know initially now he doesn't even really get in the team. He's basically used them as a squad player. But I think he's been a really good servant to Manchester United. He's been here 5 years. He scored 45 goals in 218 games in all competitions. Obviously, we got him for just under £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Obviously, with us, he's won the Europa League and the League Cup. The Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came in the Jose under Jose Mourinho, and obviously won the FA Cup with us, and obviously that came under Louis van Gaal there, back in 2015. But like I said, he's been in the Premier League in total about 7.5, 8 years. Obviously, this was including his 2.5, 3 years he had with Chelsea, when he was younger and all that. But I said if he was going to leave the club, I think he'd have probably made a return back to Spain, because obviously Spanish himself, obviously began his career in Spain, and that with Real Madrid and Valencia. But yeah, I didn't think we'd have given him a new, a new 2-year contract with an option of a further year, reflecting on his age, because he's now 31 years of age, is Juan Mata. So obviously we know he's going to be staying. With Rashford, I don't think the club are orchestrating on selling him. I think we should come to agreement, to get him a contract extension. Obviously Rashford's in the final year of his deal. I think we have been in talks, for quite some time, getting Marcus Rashford a new contract. But yeah, I do believe we should. He's a long-term solution for Manchester United. Obviously hasn't emulated to that level yet, Marcus Rashford, and it's going to take him a couple of years, to get into that level where he currently wants to be. He has been inconsistent in the last couple of months, but he is only 21 years of age. He has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, so definitely still the long-term solution for Manchester United. Obviously last season, we give Martial a new 5-year contract. We give him that back in January. Obviously we give Smalling Jones new long-term contracts, which was a mistake. We give Ashley Young a new 1-year extension. That's been a problem with Manchester United. We have let far too many players contracts run down, so obviously that's been an issue. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update today. Like I said, I wanted to give you the latest news about Jadon Sancho and Bissaka and all that. And yeah, so I wanted to give you the latest news about Bissaka, Jadon Sancho. I wanted to give you the latest news about Icardi and all that, and obviously Bruno Fernandes and all the rest of the news, as we always do on this channel. So anyway, guys, like I said, drop your comments, likes below on this channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching.